How you doing, everybody? This is John Arezzi. Welcome to another show, Pro Wrestling Spotlight Live, streaming on Facebook and also YouTube at John Arezzi's Matt Memories channel on YouTube.com. So thanks for everybody joining us today. We had scheduled Dave Meltzer to come on this weekend, but the G1 finals are finishing up tonight, and Dave a few days ago sent me an email saying he didn't think he can do it. So, that's life in the big city. We'll try to have Dave on at another time if he so desires. But after several missteps, I'm certainly hoping that one day he'll join us. But we have several other things to go over with you today. We have a couple of pretty cool videos. On January 10th, 1978, I was an idiot and stepped into the wrestling ring. First time against Dusty Rhodes on the TV taping for the WWF in Philadelphia. And I had a second match at same taping, and that was teaming me up with the Continental Nobleman, Joe Turco, from Catania, Sicily. And we were matched up against Chief J. Strongbow and the High Chief Peter Miavia, who both are legends, Hall of Famers, and Miavia, of course, The Rock's grandfather. So we're going to show you that today. Also, last week we played a video from Southeast Asia with some pretty cool promos behind the scenes with a announcer named Luna from the Philippines that really got over. A lot of people loved him. So we found some more of those promos, so we're going to share those with you as well. So, and we'll take your comments and any questions you have after those videos are played, and we'll be joined in a couple of minutes here by ALEX Robertson of SlamWrestling.net, and she'll give us all the news that's been happening this week in the world of pro wrestling. Right now, I just want to give you a few plugs, get those out of the way, and then we'll continue on with the content of the show. I just want to remind everybody that this weekend we have another great auction happening on Facebook at John Arezzi's Vintage Wrestling Auctions. And this week is a really special one. We have some really cool stuff up there for you, and some really pristine things. One of the rarest wrestling magazines in the Wrestling Review series featured this tag team on the cover from October 1966, and it was the Batman and Robin issue. And Batman, of course, was all the craze back then with the new TV show. And here is that magazine that we're auctioning off on Facebook, and it really is in very pristine condition. It's almost like brand new right off the newsstands. We have that magazine, and then we have another one featuring my opponent for tonight, as we'll get to see in just a little bit, Chief J. Strongbow. That is a big book of wrestling magazine. It came out in March of 1973. Once again, here it is. And like I said, these magazines are really, really pristine. Other things in the auction this weekend, I have 6 issues of the Pro Wrestling Spotlight newsletter that came out in 1992. These were post-Russo. So it's the first 6 issues, including the debut, right up through issue number 6. So that's available as well. And we also have a selection of the John Arezzi Vince Russo newsletters as well. This is all at John Arezzi's Vintage Wrestling Auctions on Facebook. We have a Wrestling Review, Ring Wrestling Magazine, a really vintage one. And one of my favorite magazines back in the day, if there was any magazine that was kind of the closest thing to an insider newsstand wrestling magazine in the 1960s, was a magazine that was published called Wrestling Confidential. And some of these headlines, is wrestling a fake? And then is Frank Sinatra really Bruno Sammartino's manager? But back in the day, these were things that were kind of inside stories. We have 4 issues of that very limited run of Wrestling Confidential here. They're all in fabulous shape. I mean, these are kind of like, if you could just take a look at them, they're pristine in so many different ways. So we have 4 issues of that up for grabs at the Facebook auction site. We have an issue of Wrestling World, which was December. It was 1964, this one, and this had a big feature story on the riot that took place in New Jersey when Freddie Blassie fought Bruno Sammartino, and that was at Roseville Stadium in Jersey. Another magazine that we have is the Ring Wrestling magazine from the time when Bruno Sammartino lost the title to Superstar Billy Graham, and I had a story in that, an interview with Captain Lou Albano. And speaking of Freddie Blassie, another classic wrestling review cover from back in the day. This was from March of 1971. So those are all available at the John Arezzi's Vintage Wrestling Auctions on Facebook. I also have a marketplace there where you could pick up stuff without having to participate in the auctions if you wanted to buy something now. So that's all available then. Another big news happened this week. Take a look. Mr. Met wearing a Pro Wrestling Spotlight cap, and Mr. Met wearing a Met Memories cap. Christian Theodore over at our merch partner, forwardmerch.com, is put together for a limited time only. It's actually a pre-sale. We are trying to sell 12 of these caps. If we sell 12 of these caps for those Met fans out there, then you'll have the opportunity to get those. But we need a order of 12 caps each to facilitate them. And you go to tinyurl.com/PWS store. I also want to remind everybody once again that Facebook, we have the groups up there for Memories. We also have the private group for all the listeners of the Pro Wrestling Spotlight that are now podcast, and that's in Facebook as well. And the podcast will drop tomorrow. It'll be episode number 70. And we'll be speaking to the Slammer from the Daily News, if everybody remembers that column that came out every Friday. The Slammer will be joining us, and the very first appearance ever on Pro Wrestling Spot of Wade Keller. We'll have news. It'll be the first mention ever of the Black Scorpion, and we'll talk about the WWF commentator drama, Eddie Gilbert news, to be calls, and so much more. So pwspod.com, and if you want to become a patron of the show, it's simply patreon.com/Arezzi. Why don't we get to Alex Robertson right now from slamwrestling.net, who's here with another week of the news. Alex, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, John?
Pretty relaxed today. I didn't go out at all. I just concentrated on work. It's a nice sunny day here, but I'm chilling, getting ready to watch a little baseball tonight. But this is life in quarantine. What can I tell you?
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't think I went out very much all week, actually. So I've basically been sitting in what you're looking at right now.
You feel cooped up sometimes? You get like crazed like I do?
Yeah, like sometimes I feel like I just have to go for a walk, even if it's around my block, just to get out of the house. And that really helps, actually. So fresh air does do you some good.
Yeah, I do take that daily walk. I didn't today, but I go to downtown Franklin, Tennessee, and it's kind of a 2 little block area. It's a very quaint town, very old southern town with a town square and nice boutiques and shops. And every day I just walk around the town square, or when I go to a park if the town square is a little too crowded. But you need to get that. You need to get that fresh air, so it keeps you vibrant.
Right.
So I know you're a health enthusiast anyway. So I mean,
I am,
you must be missing all of the workouts at the gym that you were actively involved with.
Yeah, I'm lucky I still live at home. So I've kind of taken over my dad's man cave in the basement, and I have a shop down there with my little weights and what have you. And it does, it helps a lot that I have that. And I'm very grateful that I do have that space. But yeah, I definitely do miss the gym at this point.
Yeah. Well, welcome you again for another week, and tell us what's going on in this crazy world of wrestling that we all love so much.
Of course. So at the beginning of the week, we continued the WWE draft. And on SmackDown, it was actually a decent draft. There were some big things that did happen. So at least in my view, it was very much anticipated. Although after watching Monday's episode, there wasn't a whole lot that actually changed. Some of the bigger names that I saw that were traded were The Fiend, also known as Bray Wyatt, is going to Raw. Elias, who had actually been out for a number of months, he made his return on Raw, and he actually got drafted to Raw right after that. So that was nice to see him back. Newly arrived Matt Riddle to Raw and SmackDown has now been drafted to Raw, so he will be staying there. And one thing that I thought was very interesting was for everybody who's very kind of confused about Retribution, they got drafted to Raw. So I'm not really sure what this means. I'm not sure what kind of a storyline they're going to be in. But one thing is for sure is that they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
They're there for the while, for a long, especially now being traded over to Raw. I still don't like that. I don't like that angle at all.
I don't either. I don't get it. I don't think a lot of people do get it, but I mean, let's see if they can do something with it. And if they fail to do something with it once again, I think it's just time to let it go. I don't think there's any reason to keep them any longer. And another new arrival that I thought was pretty interesting was Lars Sullivan, the freak Lars Sullivan. He's going to be going to SmackDown, and he actually made his appearance last night when he got into the ring and had a match against Jeff Hardy, which was pretty good. I mean, it's nice to see him. It's always nice to see these big, ghoulish guys who get into the ring and throw their weight around. It's always nice to see that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in the future on the blue brand.
Yeah, he's always good in October because it's Halloween month. And he
Maybe
looked like
Maybe that's why they decided to have him come in now. Who knows?
Yeah, and he's had a lot of problems too in the past, hasn't he? He had some personal issues back and forth, and he's been gone and he's back, and we wish him well. And now that he is back, let's hope he stays for a while because he is a very imposing figure, and he is that brute animal monster type of wrestler. So let's see if he sticks this time.
Yeah, and another thing that I thought was a little bit puzzling when I was watching Raw was right at the end, they decided to have a women's battle royal to decide who is going to challenge for Asuka's Raw Women's Championship. And, I'm watching all of these women come in, and they're basically everybody from the Raw roster and some of the SmackDown roster came into the ring, whether it be singles competitors or tag team competitors. And for weeks, I've been saying to you, to everyone around me, I don't understand the tag team of Lana and Natalya. I don't understand why, somebody who is great as Natalya can be paired with Lana, because I don't see it. And this week it kind of came to a fuse when Lana and Natalya were actually fighting a little bit. And that translated into this battle royal because they were both participants. And it turns out that Lana won the battle royal. She was the last one in the ring.
Yes, I did see that. I thought that was crazy.
I don't understand. I want to understand when somebody wins. I'm like, yes, I can see them being a fierce competitor for that championship. But with her, and I don't think I'm alone on this, I don't see her being ready for a title shot like that. I think it's not going to be a very high anticipated match. And I don't think that's what people want to see. They want to see a strong women's division, and going up against somebody like Asuka, who is so talented, who is so charismatic, and who does everything right as a champion. I don't understand how Lana fits into that picture, but it is what it is, I guess.
No, I don't either. I mean, the women's division certainly has come, down. It's really since Charlotte hasn't been active for a while, and when they lost Ronda Rousey, still, I mean, and Becky's not there. So I mean, it was the hottest thing on the program a couple of years ago, and now it's they're going back to some of these crazy. That's a silly angle, to have Lana in there as any type of contender for the women's championship, and it's such a far leap downward from where it was just 24 months ago or less. I mean, I used to love watching Raw because of what was going on with the women's division. That feud between Becky and Charlotte and Ronda was just incredible, and now it's just I'm hoping that Charlotte gets back soon, and of course we don't know when Becky's coming back, and Ronda doesn't appear that she'll ever come back, so it's a sad time for the women's division for sure. Yeah,
and I mean, you see something like that happening on Raw, and then you go to SmackDown which is where Bayley and Sasha are. And actually last night on the season premiere of SmackDown, they signed their contracts for Hell in a Cell because they will be fighting for the championship a week from Sunday. And, you know, I look at both of them and I'm like, yes, like this is what women's wrestling is, that you know, that fierce competition, that animosity, two very, very talented wrestlers going at it in a hell of a cell like that. Like that is what we need to be seeing. We don't need to be seeing somebody who, even just the casual wrestler, somebody who doesn't even watch wrestling. If you looked at Lana in the ring and how she competes versus Asuka, like, it doesn't make any sense. But I agree with you. I'm so looking forward to seeing Charlotte come back whenever that may be. And even Ronda Rousey. I mean, she hasn't necessarily said that she's going to leave the WWE altogether. And I know she was actually seen practicing in the ring not that long ago. So maybe we might see a return from her. So we'll see.
Fingers crossed. So at this point, the SmackDown brand certainly has it over Raw when it comes to competitiveness, and we'll look forward to the Hell in a Cell to see what happens in that match.
Definitely. And I think another pay-per-view that we're looking forward to this month is Bound for Glory, Impact's Bound for Glory, which is happening on October 24th. And this week, they actually, week by week, they've been announcing what matches will be on the card. And this week, they actually announced what I find is quite interesting, a 6-man scramble. So there's going to be 6 people in the ring for the X Division Championship. Those will be Jordynne Grace, Rohit Raju, TJP, Trey Miguel, and who was the other one? Willie Mack. So all 6 of them are going to be in the ring. And I think it's very interesting that they have a woman in there. Like, and Jordynne Grace can completely handle it on her own. I wouldn't be surprised if she won it all together. That would be quite awesome. But I think that's going to be a very interesting match. And I think it's definitely one on the card that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't watched Impact in a while, but yeah, please let us know what happens with that.
Yeah. And just some notes from AEW that I noticed this week. It's, to me, they always put on a great show. They always have all of these very interesting storylines, and they introduce people very often and shock the audience, which I love. But one angle that I've been finding very interesting lately is MJF and Jericho. They're 2 people that are on that roster that are so charismatic. They've got tons of personality. And for MJF being as young as he is and being able to stand toe to toe with somebody like Chris Jericho on the mic, I mean, it's you can see he's going to take it far. And Jericho is one of those people who he will take somebody under their wing, like he did with Orange Cassidy, and look at the success that Orange Cassidy is now having. So I think with him looking out for MJF, I think they'll definitely take it far. And next week, they're going to be having this dinner sort of date that they were talking about in the ring this week. So we'll see what happens with that. But you know what, I really hope they turn on each other. I mean, honestly, I really just hope that they turn on each other, and then we see maybe something at Full Gear will happen. Maybe that's what they're building up to. I'm not sure, but I definitely found that very entertaining this week.
Well, MJF for sure is just one of the brightest stars in the business, representing Long Island, where I'm from. So I've been a fan of his since the first I've seen him, and I think he's just unlimited potential with MJF.
Definitely. And I think another thing that I want to mention too, being the fact that I am a very big supporter of women's wrestling. The PWI Top 100 came out this week, 1 week after the men's, or at least when I got the men's magazine. And I mean, it just highlights so many talented women that are in this industry, from Raw to SmackDown, or WWE in general, to AEW, to all of the independent circuits all over the world. And it's just great to see so many talented people chasing their dreams. And there were, if I remember correctly, the top 5, Bayley was number 1. And the top 5 were all from the WWE. And I noticed that Hikaru Shida, I think she was number 6, and Thunder Rosa was number 14. And she also represents the NWA and AEW. So it's nice to see that everybody's being represented, and everyone is doing an amazing job. And all of the ladies that are on this list are definitely ones to watch out for in a year from now. Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, that PWI list is widely anticipated on both sides for the men and of course with the women. I mean, so we're happy to see that those standings come out again and great women representation.
Definitely. And maybe in a year, like you said, maybe we'll see more make a return. Maybe Becky, who was also number 2 on the list, if I'm not mistaken, maybe she will make her return next year. We're waiting for Charlotte. We're waiting for all these people. And who knows? Everything could change next year. So it's always good to see, though.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I thank you once again, Alex, for coming on here from slamwrestling.net, a wonderful website with a great group of journalists that report on the wrestling business and every aspect of it. Tell everybody out there also where they could follow you on any social media that you'd like to plug.
Yeah, so you can see everything of mine on Twitter at She's A Rob and on Instagram at Alexandra Sheila, and Alexandra has 2 A's in it. So, yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, we certainly appreciate your time today, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Take care, John.
Thank you very much. Good to see you. Alex Robertson from slamwrestling.net. And always a pleasure to have her here talking about what's going on in the world of wrestling. Just before we get to the next thing here, I'm looking at some of the comments coming in. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Hey, Scott Walton, how you doing? Dan Brown, Steve Gianarelli, Jason PDSI, a Facebook user, Big Pork Barbecue. Thank you. That is me, Big Pork Barbecue from Southeast Asia. Rock from Lindenhurst is up. Hey, Rock, how you doing? Steven Slagle, how you doing? Those Vintage magazines are seriously great condition. Yes, they are. I mean, they are really, really cool. Dave Drayson Brzezinski, how you doing? Dave, good to have you on here as usual. One of my dearest friends, Zachary Richards. How you doing? Richard, Dan Brown. Good to see everybody here. So, the first thing that we're going to play for you, and I want to remind everybody, I mean, this is an old tape. I just got it digitized. So it is old. 42 years old, 78. Yeah, it's 42 years old. I was young. I was 20 years old when this was. I was just 21. I was going to be 20. How old was I? I was 21. So that was a long time ago. So this tape, I just want you to turn your volume up. This was uncovered. This was digitized. This is a TV taping from the Philadelphia Arena, January 10th, 1978. Just to give you a little backstory on it before we play it. Back then, when the WWF did their TV tapings, and they did them on a Tuesday every 3 weeks in Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Arena, and then the following day they would go to Hamburg, Pennsylvania for another 3 weeks of taping. So they taped Championship Wrestling on the Tuesday and All-Star Wrestling on the Wednesday. When I talked my way into this situation, I basically showed up. I was supposed to be on 3 tapes. After the first match, they knew I didn't know what I was doing. So for the second match, which you're going to see now, I was told to stay out of the ring. It was a tag team match. Don't do anything, was what I was told, until the finish. And then you'll see what happens at the finish. So it's kind of a hilarious match, but I'm in there, with, I think, 3 legends. I mean, Joe Turco was certainly a legend, the Continental Nobleman. He was on WWF TV for many years, and great entertainer, great performer, very, very, very funny guy. And, of course, on the other side was Chief Jay Strongbow and the High Chief Peter Miavia. So I was fortunate to be in the ring with those legends. I want to remind you again, I'm going to play this for you now. I'm going to back off of the screen, but I do want you to turn your volume up because it's only coming through on one channel, and that was probably from the original tape that we taped it on. So get ready for this. This is January 10th. 1978. This is the first time it's being shown anywhere, except for on TV 42 years ago. But this is the match that much funnier than even the Dusty Rhodes match. This is kind of a hilarious match. Let's go to it now. I'm going to share the screen with everybody here, and I'm going to turn the sound up and remove myself. So let's go to it right now.
Welcome to another action-packed card of Championship Wrestling. These matches are sanctioned and supervised by the State Athletic Commission. Chief Deputy Commissioners are Jimmy Mina and Sam Skaversky. The timekeeper at the bell, J.P. Mina. Referees for the hour are Dick Worley and Super. And your announcer for Championship Wrestling, Gary Capetta. First match in the ring is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. It's a special tag team event. Introducing, in the corner to my right, from Boston, Massachusetts, weighing 235 pounds, John Anthony. And his partner, from Catania, Sicily, weighing 243 pounds, the Continental Nobleman, Joe Turco. And their opponent, weighing 285 pounds, from the Isle of Samoa, High Chief Peter Miavia. And his partner, from Pawhuska, Oklahoma, 246 pounds, Chief J. Strongbow.
A tag team combination of Strongbow and Miavia. They have certainly made their mark in the wrestling world as a combination, and we're set to begin the festivities. Professional wrestling returns to the North Dartmouth, Massachusetts area. It'll be this Monday night, the 6th of February. Scheduled to compete at the Lincoln Park Ballroom in North Dartmouth. Be the tag team combination of Pretty Boy Larry Sharp, his partner Jack Evans. Also scheduled, might add, to headline the wrestling card this Monday night at the North Dartmouth area will be the alleged strongest human being on earth. The one and, of course, the only Ken Patera. Scheduled to compete this Monday night at the Lincoln Park Ballroom in North Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Peter Miavia in control. So timeout now. Time for consultation. Strongbow coming into view a moment ago. Talk about teamwork. I'll tell you, Miavia and Strongbow have it down. Turco trying to get out of dodge. Now back over with a little more discussion with his tag team partner, John Anthony. Oh, there's Strongbow again. Strongbow a moment ago being warned by the referee. Now Turco locking up with Peter Miavia. Miavia clearly the more powerful of two, and Jay Strongbow with a wide open shot, and he takes it. Now the tag is made, and Jay Strongbow will try his luck on an individual basis here against Joe Turco. Strongbow, one of the more unorthodox wrestlers here in the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. No place to run here. Oh, Turco ran right into Miavia. Jay Strongbow, I think things well in hand in a moment. Turco reaching for his partner, can't make the tag. Jay Strongbow has no problem with tagging Mr. Miavia. And Peter, really eroding. This is one powerful Samoan here. This might be a little slap across the face will do nicely. Turco hauling Miavia out of there, rolling around, and Miavia right back on his feet. Miavia quickly going behind his man, and Turco quickly going over to the Middle of the rope there. Oh, my goodness. Turco's getting it from both sides. It appears as though Jay Strongbow and Peter Miavia having a pretty good time in there at the moment, kind of clowning around. Strongbow whips to the rope. Turco on shove, heading round and round. Strongbow, a master of using those ropes. Turco not bad in his own right, and no flash. Strongbow passing his man with footwork. Oh. Once again, Miavia, I believe, will step into the ring. Nope. Strongbow's going to stay there. Strongbow just gives Joe Turco a nasty look. Turco not wanting to encourage the fans here to give Jay Strongbow any encouragement. From behind, literally as well as figuratively, Peter Miavia was over there fooling around. Tag made Mr. Miavia stepping to the rope. Grabs the leg and goes to work on it. Turco trying to tag his partner, John Hasselman, yet again for the match. Kind of get the impression that Miavia was teasing Joe Turco, just letting him get ever so close and yanking him away. Strongbow, likewise, I believe, taunting Joe Turco. Turco still can't make it over. Thus far, there has been very little competition for Jay Strongbow and Peter Turco. Oh, no, didn't make it again. Peter Miavia hanging onto the side headlock. Joe Turco has been faced with a situation that is not the greatest, to say the least, in tag team competition. He can't get over the tag. There is the tag is made. Or is it? Yes, there is. In the ring now. John Anthony runs right into Peter Miavia. Down for the count. 2, 3, it's over. Jay Strongbow, I believe, counted to 5. The referee only to 3. And Jay Strongbow and Peter Miavia having no problems at all in chalking up another victory for themselves here on Championship Wrestling. So let's get the official time.
The time of the match, 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Your winners, the team of Chief Jay Strongbow and Peter Miavia.
Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We shall return with the Golden Greek Spinotherion.
Well, there you go. That was a blast from the past for sure. Thanks for everybody's comments coming in as well. I certainly was a victim of a fast 3 count there. Yes, I was. I was supposed to wrestle. I was scheduled to work against Bobby Backlund in tape number 3, but they pulled me from that and they said, you're done for the night. And I got my $90, and that was the end of it. I got $90 in cash. I don't have the tights anymore. I don't know where they are or what happened to them. They're certainly not in the archives, let's put it that way. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. That was something that I was very happy to see that was digitized in the massive amount of content that I had taken out of the digitizing company. We have some really more classic stuff. I'm going to be playing a little bit more for you each and every week. I have a really cool encounter with Cactus Jack, which I might play next week. At Plainedge High School on Long Island, when Cactus was working against Sunny Beach, and Bob Orton got involved, and then I got involved, and then Cactus dropped the big elbow on me. So we may play that next week for everybody out there. What we're going to do now is I do want to talk to you about Manscaped. Producer Dominic is not here, as everybody knows. He's not shown his presence here for the last few weeks. He had a seasonal job, which is wrapping up. But Manscaped is a product that he has been using for a long time, and we welcome them here at this broadcast. So want to let everybody know, if you haven't known about Manscaped, it's the best men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. These they obsess about their technology and their technological developments to provide you the best tools to your grooming experience. Manscaped.com. They've redesigned their electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, and just released a new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. It's a premium product, and the battery lasts up to 90 minutes. It's waterproof and have a cool feature with an LED light, which illuminates the grooming areas for closest and more precision shave. We have a 20% discount for everybody here who has not gotten a Manscaped yet. 20% discount with the promo code PWS. That's manscaped.com. Let's see. Stephen Slago said, adjusted for inflation, $90.78, $357 in 2020. Not a bad payday. No, it was not. Well, we're going to continue on with some more classic video here for you. Last week, we played some of those promos from the IWS Tour Southeast Asia, and people got a kick out of the announcer Luna from the local television station over in the Philippines. The great Brian Last and some others said, you got any more of that guy? And I found some more with Luna, with some interesting personalities that you'll recognize when you see this tape. So I'm going to share it with everybody. So hang with me a second here. And the volume on this is much better, so you don't have to crank it all up. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's really funny stuff. And let's get it going now. I'll share this from Southeast Asia with all of you, and I think you're going to love it. So let's check it out right now.
Alahoy, Lula is back with this handsome Mexican guy. And I'm here, another guy here. His name is Miss Mascarita.
No, Espectrito.
Huh?
Espectrito.
Espectrito.
Yeah.
I thought it's Espectrito.
No, Espectrito.
Espectrito. Huh?
Yeah. First of all, me and Espectrito, we come from Mexico. And again, we want to say, ¿Cómo está acá? Yes, because we have made a lot of Filipino friends. I myself, I'm looking for a chance against Mario Savoldi. I wanted to wrestle Bob Orton Jr., but I don't know why he doesn't want to wrestle me. But more important than that, my friend from Mexico City, the ex-world midget champion, is looking to wrestle Mascarita Sagrada. ¿Tú quieres luchar contra Mascarita Sagrada?
Sí, yo quiero luchar contra Mascarita Sagrada y derrotarlo aquí, Filipinas.
Okay. He says he wants to wrestle Mascarita Sagrada and take away his world midget title here in Manila.
Are you sure you can grab it to him?
Huh?
Are you sure that he can win? You can win.
Si estás seguro que puedes ganar.
Así es, porque me he preparado mucho en México.
He says that he has been training very hard in Mexico before he came down here, and he's sure that he can beat Mascarita Sagrada.
Excuse me. Yeah, Mr. Espectrito. What was that? Ano yun? Okay.
The whole thing?
I'm Luna back. I'm here with the handsome Mexican guy. Oh, I'm sorry if it is the right word. Your name, please, again?
Conan, and this is my friend from Mexico, Espectrito, ex-world midget champion. I want to say, me and him want to say to all our fans here in Manila, ¿Cómo está acá? We made a lot of friends here in Manila, and we want to be back again and again and again.
Would you like to say something?
¿Quieres decir algo?
Sí, le quiero dar un saludo a todos los filipinos y que les guste la lucha mexicana.
He wants to say hi to all the people here in the Philippines and that he hopes that they like the Mexican style of wrestling.
Ala, kumusta raw kayo? Hindi pala maaari mag-English na mag-Tagalog. Kumusta raw kayo? Sabi ng maganda lalaking are. No. Luko yata ito. Mr. Kona, are you sure that this midget guy is okay, not like the other one?
Oh, he's a very good friend of mine, just like you, Mr. Luna, just like my friends here in the Philippines, our friends. We make a lot of friends. We want to keep coming back. Very friendly people, very beautiful country. Wheat, food, chicken adobo, lumpia. We have very, very good time. But this man right here is the best midget wrestler in the world.
Yeah?
Yeah, in the world.
You like Philippines?
¿Te gustan las Filipinas?
Pues bastante, son de la gente más bonita que puede haber en el mundo.
He says he traveled all around the world, Japan, Puerto Rico, Mexico, U.S., friendliest people right here in Philippines. Very true.
And don't you worry.
Yeah.
I'll introduce her to girls like his size.
Dice que él te va a presentar a chaparritas de tu tamaño.
Yo estaría totalmente encantado de que me presentaran gente como las Filipinas. Me gustan bastante. Que con gusto me quedaría yo en Filipinas.
He says that he would be very happy to meet girls his size because all the girls here have been very nice and beautiful, and he would love to stay here and live. It's a very beautiful country.
No problem, my friend. Hey. Busy natin pala ito. Hayop na ito. I'm back again from the gentleman from New York, Mr. Rotten.
Johnny Rotten to you, big boy. And what is Johnny Rotten doing in the IWAS? I'll tell you what Johnny Rotten's doing in the IWAS, because the toughest competition in the world is right here. Jake the Snake Roberts, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Cowboy Bob Orton, the Powers of Pain. They're all here, and Johnny Rotten's here because I'm here to make a name, no matter who I got to go through. Is that all right with you?
Thank you, Mr. Ratton. Hey, excuse me. Well, I think this is my lucky night. We have here with a very young, beautiful girl, Miss Mendoza, the manager.
The manager of Greg the Hammer Valentine. Look, I don't want any linguistic problems here. Just let me spell it out straight. I have problems finding women wrestlers around the world internationally. So here, anywhere, I'll take on anybody. If it be Wendy Richter, Heidi Lee Morgan, Allison Royal, I'll be looking for you. What are you looking at? Let's just go on to the Hammer.
Yes, sir, yes.
Hey, just keep your eyes off of Medusa, the queen, the first lady of wrestling.
Yes. You talk now.
You just talked to Greg the Hammer Valentine. Like me or don't like me, love me or hate me. One thing you got to remember about Greg the Hammer Valentine is the fact that I am a winner. I win my matches. That's why I've had more championship belts than any other wrestler in the world today. And I'm talking about any of them. I'm even talking about Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., who's a current IWAS heavyweight champion of the world. And tonight, I get a chance to take on Cowboy Bob Orton. And it's not the first time, but I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since I've had Bob Orton in the squared circle in the combat zone. And this is for all the bananas. But you know something? He has me at a disadvantage, Medusa, because I just went through a battle royal. He knows I'm tired. I need to rest. I don't need to be out here yelling, but I tell you one thing, I'm going to be 100% out there, Cowboy Bob Orton. Greg the Hammer Valentine, you know, is the master of the figure four leg lock. And if it comes down to that, Bob Orton, if I get lucky enough, I said lucky enough, if you make one mistake, I'm going to put it on and you're going to give up and I'm going to be the new champion.
Thank you, Miss Madosa. You-
Get your hands up.
Keep your hands off my woman.
Kala ko nakadali na ako. May asawa pala yung nakita ko. Bye. Cowboy Bob, huh? I have here on my right side from Kansas City. He's handsome. He looks like the guy from the movie. He's known as Cowboy Bob. Would you say something, Mr. Bob?
Yes, sir. It's Cowboy Bob Orton, everybody out there, the IWAS heavyweight champion. And I know it's a strong road to hoe. There's many, many tough men out there. Greg Valentine just went through 20 guys to get to me. The winner of the Battle Royal wrestles the champion. Well, Valentine, just like Jake the Snake Roberts, you're going to get beat, boy. Both you big WWF stars. Well, let me tell you something. I left there a long time ago to do what I wanted to do, Daddy, and I got the job done. I'm standing here, the IWAS champion, a Southeast Asia Worldwide International Championship Wrestling Group. And let me tell you something, Daddy. The champion, when he walks into a ring, demands respect. First of all, from the wrestler, and second of all, from the wrestling fan. I demand that respect because I deserve that respect. Your champion has spoken, and you can thank yourselves you got a chance to listen to me, Daddy. Nice to be here.
Do it, Mr. Cowboy Bob. Do it. I like that.
Okay, let's do one more.
I'm back again. And Mr. Cowboy Bob is back. Mr. Bob, I heard you're going, next fight is going to be tough. Are you going to win this fight?
It's going to be a tag team match, which is very upsetting to me. Diamond Dallas Page, I'm sure, will be a fantastic partner. But the fact of the matter is, I am a singles wrestler. I am not a tag team wrestler. Singles is the name of the game, to go out and beat one man, one-on-one. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear that Jake the Snake Roberts is saying I stole this belt from him. Well, Jake Roberts, let me tell you something, Daddy. When the smoke cleared, I walked out of the ring with my hand in victory and this belt around my waist. And anytime, any place, Jake the Snake, big international wrestling star, wants a part of me, you know where to find me, Daddy.
Ang laway mo, tumaman lahat sa mukha ko. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here now. We know that top guy is a good fighter. And I always forget his name. Can you mention your name and please talk now?
This right here, my friends, International Wrestling All-Stars. This is the Cheetah Kid coming at you from all over the world. We come from China, Japan, Milan, Italy, Germany, France, Austria, everywhere on the globe, everywhere in the world. IWA Wrestling All-Stars will come at... I fucked it up.
Again, I'm here with a guy, tough, and he's strong, good fighter. And I always forget his name. Can you tell your name?
The Cheetah Kid from the International Wrestling All-Star.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the top guy, handsome, but his name sounds familiar. He is Mr. Cheetah
Cheetah Kid from the International Wrestling All-Stars coming at you from all over the globe, everywhere in the world. We go to Japan, we go to Asia, we go to Manila, we go to China, Austria, Australia, Hungary, Italy, Poland. That's right. Wherever there's top wrestling, you'll see International Wrestling All-Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Cheetah Kid. Gentlemen, when you talk about good steak, it's always in California. On my side is a 6'7" gentleman. His name is Sanovitz from Santa Monica.
How you doing, Loon, out there? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Sunny Beach, the man with the most from coast to coast, coming to you live and in color, baby, from the good old USA. Here with International Wrestling All-Stars, the finest in professional wrestling all over the world today. Isn't that right, Luna?
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you one thing. There's a lot of superstars in International Wrestling All-Stars. Jake the Snake Roberts, Greg the Hammer Valentine, the Power Twins, the Power Pain, Kevin Sullivan, and Sunny Beach. I'm a young and upcoming wrestler. I'm here to make a name for myself in International Wrestling All-Stars, and I'll be coming to a town near you real soon. So catch the wave.
Gentlemen, that is an uprising star, Mr. Sanovitz.
Take it from Luna. He knows wrestling, and I know surfing and wrestling. So you listen to him if you want to know what's going down.
Always see his racing fight. And if he loses, I lose also. Bye.
We're in the IWAS and you're not, but you can watch.
My name is Paul E. Dangerously. I'm in the IWAS. I am the IWAS. As a matter of fact, without me, there is no IWAS. Paul E. Dangerously.
Well, there you go. There are full shows of IWAS available to watch. I'm putting them together right now. I mean, these are just some clips, promo clips, but I got several matches, incredible array of shows that now I have digitized. A couple of notes from that Manila show. Dan Brown mentioned that Cheetah Kid eventually became one half of Public Enemy. It was on this tour that Paul E. and Johnny Rotten, Mike Dorham, and Ted Petty, the Cheetah Kid, that was when Paul E. decided that he was going to bring them into his promotion, ECW Wrestling, and turn them into the Public Enemy. So that's where that originated from, and that's a piece of history that you may not be aware of. It was enjoyable. So, I mean, these are just some of the gems that I have now in the archives that I want to share with everybody here. And, you know, Pro Wrestling Spotlight Live is going to feature some guests, hopefully. I don't have the Rolodex I used to have years ago. And I certainly do want to bring some performers on and people from today's business and some of the legends of the past on to talk to all of you. But at least, you know, once a week when you come here, you're going to see some really cool vintage wrestling clips that have never really been seen before anywhere. And this IWAS stuff, I mean, I started the promotion in 1993. And I had an agent out of New Jersey that went out and sold tours and shows to various promoters internationally. So we did Southeast Asia, we did South America, and then I also hooked up with Conan, as you know, with Ron Scholar, and brought AAA to Los Angeles. I have an enormous amount of lucha footage as well that have been digitized, because back in 1995, after Ron Scholar had worked and had a problem with Pena and the AAA, I went and did some shows with Conan and Pena, and I have all of those shows professionally shot, and we hope to share some of those with you as well. It's been enjoyable to be with you once again here. I want to remind everybody, pwspodright.com for the Pro Wrestling Spotlight Then and Now podcast. We're really enjoying it. We're about to move to the big station, a newer station there, so keep listening there. If you want to support the production of that program, patreon.com/Rezi. And I also want to mention to everybody right now, if you have some questions for me that you'd want to be featured here, always feel free to send me an email at john@mattmemories.com. And of course, we're going to try to get Dave Meltzer on. If he comes on, I'm going to reach out to him again now that G1 is over with. With Dave, his schedule is pretty intense. Anyone who reads the newsletter and sees his website and what they do to get Dave on, it's not as easy as it used to be for the radio show years ago, that's for sure. So we may even do a special with Dave that could be a midweek special. And of course, I'll let everybody know about that right here at Pro Wrestling Spotlight Live. I do want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. All you got to do is go to YouTube and go to youtube.com/John Arezzi's Matt Memories, because I'm going to be sharing even more stuff that we don't play here on that YouTube channel, and I'm trying to raise those numbers up. So if you would please subscribe to that channel on YouTube, I'd certainly appreciate it. And any other comments that you'd like to make, certainly you can leave them here or on Facebook. I would love your input. And I would love to know what you guys would like to see and hear, or even some guests that you'd like me to try to reach out to. I'm going to wrap it up for now. A couple of minutes early. It's 5:56 here in Nashville, Tennessee, actually Franklin, Tennessee, south of Nashville. I hope everybody stays safe out there. And I want to remind you that the podcast will be dropping tomorrow. We'll be adding more content each and every week. And it's always a pleasure to be here talking wrestling with you and sharing some of these great Matt memories that I have in some of these vintage archives. Until next week, when we talk more wrestling with you and show you some more vintage clips, this is, as you see, John Anthony today. This is John Anthony Arezzi saying so long for now, and we will see you next week.